Hi all, this is the second part of our review of the Samsung Galaxy Note smartphone. In this part of the review we'll take a look at the device's software and user interface. So let's power up. There's a power button on the right hand side of the device. Simply slide up to unlock. So you can see that the Galaxy Note has a nice 5.3-inch display. It has a 1280 by 800 resolution, so you can really make use of that large screen. You'll notice there are 5 icons docked on the app dock at the bottom of the screen. All the text is quite readable, quite crisp. Images look nice as well. The pixel density of the Galaxy Note isn't as high as, say, the iPhone 4S, but it is quite good, particularly when compared to some of the 4.5-inch devices out there that are basically in large 4-inch screens. So as I'm flipping through the Galaxy Note's various screens, you can see that the device is pretty responsive. It has a 1.4 GHz dual-core processor and a gigabyte of RAM, which definitely helps. This device runs Android 2.3 Gingerbread with Samsung's TouchWiz UI on top. You can see that Samsung did add a bunch of its widgets to the Galaxy Note's various screens. However, since this is an unlocked version of the device, we don't have any carrier software in there, which is nice. One of the most notable features of the Galaxy Note is the device's stylus, which is stored on the bottom right hand side here. Simply pull this out with a fingernail. You can see that the stylus is quite thin. There's also a button, a little bit hard to see right here. You can use the stylus in place of finger gestures to navigate through the Galaxy Note's interface. You can see that the device is quite responsive to the stylus. However, the capacitive buttons on the bottom of the Galaxy Note screen do not work with the stylus. Samsung included an application called S-Memo with the Galaxy Note that allows you to take stylus-based notes. You can access S-Memo a couple ways. First, you can hold down the button on the pen, double tap on the Galaxy Note screen, just kind of sketch like so. This is a light version of S-Memo. You can open up the full version of the S-Memo application by clicking the icon below. You can see that this opens up a graph paper-like piece of paper. There are a number of options for changing the type of pen you're using, the thickness of the pen, various colors, etc. The eraser allows you to erase part of a line, for example, or the whole document. And there's also a text input function for typing in a document with a standard QWERTY keypad. This gives you a good look at how the keypad appears on the Galaxy Note. It is quite spacious. So you can see that there's a slight delay when you're writing with the Galaxy Note pen. You can see how the line kind of trails where the pen actually is. But overall, it's pretty comfortable to take notes with the device. There's also a handwriting recognition function, so if you sketch some text, then click the menu key and hit handwriting to text, the Galaxy Note will attempt to translate your sketches into text. This doesn't work very well actually, particularly if you have messy handwriting, and it is a bit tedious to use when you're writing a lot of text because you do have to kind of constantly go back and correct the errors with the handwriting recognition. I didn't find this feature very useful. If you kind of scroll through the documents that Samsung provided, you can see some examples of how else you can use the Note. Some examples of sketches, for example. You can input screenshots directly into the S-Memo application, pictures as well. It's also very easy to send these pictures via email, SMS, upload to Facebook, for example. So the S-Memo application is pretty cool. It's a lot of fun to play with and just kind of sketch around, draw pictures. It is quite tedious, however, to take large amounts of notes with the S-Memo application. So I would suggest it for mostly just taking your standard kind of post-it style notes. So next let's take a look at the camera on the Galaxy Note. The rear-facing camera is 8 megapixels. It also takes 1080p video. There's also a front-facing 2 megapixel camera as well. Kind of see the standard Samsung camera interface here. Hit settings to give you an idea of the various options you have. There are a number of presets for adjusting scenes, for example, as well as manual options such as adjusting ISO, white balance. You can GPS tag photos as well. I'll take a couple of pictures just to show you the speed of the camera. See that it's not great. It's definitely not as fast as the iPhone 4S, but not as bad as, say, the Droid Bionic either. If you switch over to video mode, again, standard Samsung interface. If you look at settings, you see that you have various options, both manual and automated. So that's the camera app. Next, let's take a quick look at the applications pre-installed on the Galaxy Note. Like I mentioned, you do have a number of Samsung applications such as the Social Hub and Readers Hub, but overall nothing too obtrusive. Again, this is a unlocked device, so you don't have your carrier crapware. If you take a look at settings to see what's running, most of what you see are those widgets that are running on Samsung's various screens, but again, not a whole lot of crapware. That 1 GB of RAM helps a lot as well. So hopefully I've given you a pretty good look at the Galaxy Note software and user interface. Obviously there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't able to get to, but we are running pretty long, so if you have additional questions, just send over a comment and I'll try to respond in subsequent videos. Overall, the Galaxy Note is a pretty solid device as long as you can get used to its size. The 5.3-inch screen though is very nice, and the 1280 by 800 resolution really made full use of all of that screen real estate. The stylus was a nice option as well. I had a lot of fun using the S-Memo application, kind of drawing and taking notes just to kill time. But also there are limitations to writing on the Galaxy Note screen. It's really tough to write long notes on the screen, and that handwriting recognition feature wasn't very useful either. So those are my thoughts on the Galaxy Note. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to submit them in comments and I'll try to get back to you. And other than that, thanks a lot for watching.